I've been constantly reminded of this lesson, and it's something along the lines of confidence comes from saying you're going to do something and doing it. So there's two schools of thought, right? There's one school of thought that's like, hey, set realistic goals that you can easily achieve. And I think there's some merit to that. And then there's another school of thought. This would be like the Grant Cardone mindset of like, set outrageous goals. And even if you only come within 10% of them or 20% of them, you're still better off. So like you see people do this thing where like, I want to make $10 million this year. And the thought is like, well, even if you only make 2, you were aiming to make 10 and you got 20% of your goal, which would have been better if you like there's a school of thought like that. And I think you guys understand what I'm trying to say. So I don't even want to finish the point, but you get what I'm saying. Your words carry so much power. You have to be super careful with getting in a habit of saying like, I'm going to do something and then not following through on it, because that's how you constantly lose confidence.
This is actually a funny story. I went out with a guy not too long ago. He's super wealthy. He owns a huge company that all of you guys would know if I said the company, or he's a part owner. He didn't order bottled water. He got tap water. And I immediately was just like, bro. I just didn't get it. Genuinely made no sense to me. It's like, dude, order a bottle of water.
So if you're telling yourself like, hey, I'm going to get to 10K a month with my agency in the next 90 days, and you don't do it, then you're setting up this thought pattern in your brain of like, I tell myself I'm going to do something and I just don't do it. For a long time, like 2019, I wanted to wake up at 6 a.m. and I would always tell myself like, I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. and I just never would. And then I lost a lot of confidence because I kept telling myself that I was going to do stuff that I wouldn't do. And so realistically, you have to be super intentional with saying you're going to do something and then not following through on it, especially when you make your proclamations like public. So like when you set goals, just make darn sure that you're going to hit the goals. And I would also say like, don't set a goal with no idea of the path that you're going to take. So like a lot of you set these goals because you think they sound good. You say, I want to get 10K a month, 30K a month, 20K a month. And then if I ask you, okay, what's your game plan? You have fuck all of a game plan. And then you're going to lose confidence because you're just thinking about the outcome and you're not actually thinking about the process that's going to get you to the outcome. So what I would start to do is just like reverse engineer your goals, right? So if you say, I want to get to, and this is like one of the most thoughtful exercises I've done with the clients that are in the mentorship. Okay, where do you want to be? They say 30K a month. Okay, when do you want to be there? In 6 months. Okay, so let's say you're charging, I don't know, $1,500 a month per client. So you need what? 20 clients in order to get to 30K. So if it's going to take you 6 months, then you need to roughly get, just say 4 clients a month. I know that's a little bit over, but we'll hedge. You need to get 4 clients a month, and that would have you at, whatever, 6, 12, 18, 24 clients. So you'd actually be above it. You'd be at what, 36K a month or something like that. You're going to factor in churn and stuff like that. But most of you guys don't even think that far in advance. You think, well, like, I want to get 30K a month and in some time frame. You don't actually know how many clients you need to get, etc. So like business is all about setting a goal and then just reverse engineering everything that you need to do in order to get the goal. When you break it down on a step-by-step basis or like a week-by-week basis, the goal is much more tangible. It's not going to scare you as much. So if you're like, I need to get 4 clients a month, you need to get 1 client a week. How many sales calls would you need to take for it to be impossible that you wouldn't get 1 client a week? Probably 10. Okay, you need to set 2 appointments a day. And so when you look at it, like I just need to set 2 appointments every single day. And if I set 1 today, then I need to set 3 tomorrow to get back on pace. Then you're in a much better position. And so like I would challenge you guys to stop thinking about your goals. Like a lot of you guys just have this idea of like, I'm just going to say something and then like the universe is going to make it true. I don't think that's the way it works. Do I think that has some merit to say like, yeah, the law of attraction and these sort of things? Yeah, I do. But the point is like, you're not just going to say like, oh, I want to be a billionaire and then it's just going to happen because you fucking said it. You know what I mean? So I would start to reverse engineer your goals and I would stop setting unintentional goals and just saying shit, because every time you set a goal and you don't hit it, you're losing confidence in your ability to set goals. Which friend would you rather have? The flaky friend who never pulls through, or the friend who is always there on time, always does what they say they're going to do, always sticks to the commitments, always says, I'll pick you up at this time and picks you up at that time, always says, we'll be at dinner at 6 and they're at dinner at 6. That's how you want to be with your goals. Right? You want to be the person that sets a goal and then you reverse engineer what you need to do on a day by day, week by week basis in order to get there. And you just make sure you do it, because realistically, you guys are setting goals with no intention. And another thing is you're setting goals that you have no reason to set, right? So you're saying, I want to get 30K a month, and you have no reason why you want to be at 30K a month. You just think that number sounds good, or 10K a month or 50K a month or whatever. And I don't think you need to have some big philosophical reason of why you want to take your agency to 30K a month, but like really audit, what are my goals? Why do I want these goals? And then what do I need to do on a day-by-day, week-by-week basis to make it impossible that I don't hit these goals? So the way that I try to do goals is set a goal, figure out what I need to do on a daily, weekly, monthly basis in order to get there, and then just do a ridiculous amount of work in order to get there. Like so much work that it's impossible that I don't hit them, because then I put my brain in this basically positive reinforcement state of when I set a goal, I make it happen. And then I prove to myself that when I set goals, I can make it happen. And then it makes the next goal easier to hit, the next goal easier to hit, so on and so forth. So start reverse engineering your goals. It's going to make them less scary, but it's also going to be more likely that you achieve them. So if it's like a revenue standpoint for your agency, just do the math. How many sales calls do I need to book? How much money do I need to make? And don't be fucking unrealistic. I hate when people do this. I want to get to 10K a month. Okay, well, I need to take 5 sales calls. No, dude, you're not going to close at 100%. You need to build some safety into each number. So when you set goals, you say, I'm going to set 10 appointments a week. You need to factor in show rate. You need to say, well, only 50% of these might show, so I might need to set 14 calls rather than 10. You need to build some security into each system, or into each goal, if you will, to make sure that you're actually going to hit it. Realistically, the reason that the best companies in the world can predict and project how much money they're going to make every quarter. This is why Apple releases a quarterly earnings statement and says, hey, over the next 3 months, we're going to make X, Y, and Z, is because they say what they're going to do, and then they reverse engineer all the actions to get there, and then they just do all that stuff. And this is why these big companies can say, here's what we're going to make, and come pretty darn close, either below or above what they say they're going to make, is because they just lay out the game plan in order to get there. For those of you who don't know, Ollie is doing mine and Paul's content this month in Maryland. I'm here at Paul Daly's office, and Paul and I kind of have this thing where we just like to do outrageous stuff because it's fun. So like some of the things that you've done while you've been here that you've never done before, you did a 41 degree Fahrenheit cold plunge, which is very cold. You ate like Carolina Reaper hot chicken, which like will destroy anyone. You stepped out your comfort zone in a many ways.
Yeah, no, I have.
And so the reason that I wanted to talk about this, because this goes back into the confidence and the goal setting. And so, like, how much would you say after each of those things that you did, you gained confidence because you kind of showed yourself like, yo, I can do this and I shouldn't be scared of this?
Each little thing that I have done, which I'm not comfortable with, has definitely increased my confidence in every aspect, whether it's talking to a complete stranger, because everyone is so chatty here. For me, it's quite strange. But like now, and especially being around John and Paul, they'll speak to anyone,
Don't you think like if you would have passed up on some of those things, you would have probably lost a bit of confidence? Like if you would have told yourself in your mind you're going to do something and you wouldn't have like physically done it, you probably would have lost some confidence.
No, definitely. There have been many times where I've told myself I'm going to do something and then I don't.
Just don't do it.
And then that night I'll be in bed, all the thoughts come like, why didn't I do that?
Yeah.
That is so annoying.
So like, guys, the video is more in a business context, but like, look, business and personal are not all that different. So I guess the reason that I wanted to talk to Ollie for a minute is because it's like, yeah, we're talking about setting goals for business and how you're going to increase your confidence by hitting those goals, and you're going to start to prove to yourself that you can do it. But it's the exact same way with anything in life, right?
100%.
It's the same way with getting in a cold plunge, or talking to a pretty girl, or eating hot chicken, or like whatever the case may be. Like the more of these things that you make in your mind, I'm going to do, and then you at least try, you'd still be happy that you tried,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Even if you do set a goal with your business or your agency or whatever the case may be, and you don't actually hit it, but you can really look back and say, I didn't pull any punches. I tried as hard as I absolutely could, and I pushed myself to my extreme limits. Like you're going to gain confidence from that as well. So stop taking meaningless action. Stop setting meaningless goals. Stop setting goals that are just stupid and unrealistic that you're never going to hit, because then you're going to lose confidence and you're not going to want to set goals anymore. And just reverse engineer what you need to do in order to get your goal, and then fall in love with the process. So many of you guys just want to be immediately at the outcome, but you don't realize that the fun part is actually doing the stuff that it takes to get there. Like you want to be at 30K a month overnight, but some of the fun is getting on sales calls, hearing no, handling objections, trying to tweak things to get more appointments on the calendar. Like this is the fun part. And when you start to reverse engineer your brain as to looking at it like the fun is in the process, you're going to be a lot more happy doing the work every single day. And it's going to be more likely that you hit your goals because you're going to be more consistent. This is goal setting. Hope this helps. Let me know what questions you guys have on this. If you need anything, you know where to find me. I'll see you guys on the next one.